Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining our last webinar of 2025. I'm Veronika from OnSinch support team, and today we will take a look at together on some tips how you can clean up a bit your system, how to revise maybe some areas to make sure that we have 2025 closed and correctly settled, and we are ready for next year, making sure that we don't have any loose ends, some skeletons in closets, and everything is ready. We had already a couple of webinars this year. You can find all of them on our YouTube, and we were usually covering some features and then combination of the features. So this webinar will be a bit different. I will be sharing you tips and examples, and maybe they can inspire you to take them over into your case. First, I will show you agenda today. So I will present the slide for a short moment. So what areas will we cover today? It will include staff database. We will take a look at some tips how you can make sure that your database is active, that it's really including just the active staff members, how to double check the finance status of staff members so we don't have any remainings and disbalances. Then we will take a look at a company and clients database to have them also updated. Then I will recommend some parts for checking the content you are showing to your users, some communication, how to adjust your dashboard, how you can maybe use statistics and exports for further evaluation of the year. If you are planning to change your ways and prices for next year, I will also share some tips how this can be done. And lastly, we'll take a look at some default setup options that you might want to change to make your scheduling easier for next year. And after all, also the scheduling strategy, because end of the year is a good opportunity to maybe revise and think of how it all went. We are all decluttering our homes and making resolutions, so we decided that it might be good to include OnSinch as well to these actions. I would like to start also with two tips or rules, I would say, that are crucial for the information I will be sharing you and also overall for using OnSinch. So first thing is that it's important to close all shifts. Best practice, of course, is to close them as they go, as soon as possible after they ended, so it's in fresh mind of you. And you have everything confirmed, as well as orders and appointments. You are not really closing appointments, but you are marking there the people's attendance, which is stored in the system. And without closing the shifts or without closing all of the shifts, you can't really benefit from all the other features that are after that. So that's the first rule or tip I would recommend. And the second point I would like to mention is the red bubbles that you can see regularly in your menu, because these bubbles are calling your action, and it's something you should, at best, to be solving regularly as well. So I recommend to not let the bubbles grow up to big numbers, because then it's a time consuming to get rid of them. So for example, if you are approving attributes of some staff members, it's easy to approve 50, maybe 100 attributes. But if you have there in the menu bubble that says number 1,000 or maybe more, it can be a bit harder, and maybe it's not giving you the relevant information you want. So that's the second point I wanted to mention. I will also be doing a little bit of pause between the topics, and in the meantime, I will check if you placed some question in the Q&A so we can solve it when we are at the topic rather than in the end, but in the end also will be space for questions. So let's start with that. Our first topic is staff members database. So let's go to our staff list that will be helping us now. When you open the staff list, and every time when you are searching for suitable staff or communicating, always the predominant kind of the main group of staff members are those who are active. That is indicated here by the status active. And it's very handy that this group of staff members is really the active one. You are working with regularly or they are somehow active. But of course, it depends what the active means in your case. That's totally up to you. And sometimes maybe if you did some, let's say, recruitment, you have a lot of newcomers joining, registering during the year-end season. Now you might want to check who really turn out to be a staff member, who is working regularly, which person maybe just registered, but nothing was happening later. And the filters we have here can help you with that. Personally, for these actions, I would recommend to check filters in this area of the bottom of the filter list. One of this is never attended a shift checkbox, which will show you people who never worked. And also filters last login, when you can filter some time period for their last login. Also filter attended shift between, that can help you to identify active staff members. And also filter those staff members who never logged in. If I can use it as an example, I would like to know, for example, who registered, and here's also in the top, also filters for registering. That can also help you narrow down how your database grown and when the people registered. For example, I would like to know staff members who never attended the shift, so they didn't work. And their last login, they haven't even logged in last year. So I will tick this box, never attended a shift, and I will use this filter last login between, and I will put there, let's say 1st of January. I have here a demo version of the system, so you have a lot of more staff members here. But basically like this, you can see staff members who last log in within this area. And you can then easily identify them if maybe they are already not active. So you can decide if to delete them from the system or maybe just hibernate them or communicate with them, reach out to them if they are interested, because probably these staff members are not really active ones. Another filter I want to mention is also if, for example, you would like to check who logged in really in the past, they attended a shift, but the shift was really in the past, so maybe the cooperation ended. So again, you can filter here last login between. For example, let's put here end of December. And you will here have list of staff members. I have just demo data, so they are not active staff members, but you will get the list. And subsequently, you can use this column last sign in, for example, and that can help you because you can sort the staff members by this column. So if you, for example, filter those who haven't logged in for last half a year, you can sort by it, and you will see who signed it really in the past, or maybe just like not so that long ago. So you can also work with this column. And then you can also work with the staff members who worked, but their last shift was really also in the past. You might want to consider them also not active. And another box I would like to mention is never logged in. And that is handy, for example, when you were creating staff member profiles or doing import, or simply the staff members who never logged in, they never managed to get over the first phase. So probably they are also not the active ones. So when you narrow down this search, you can do further actions in this staff list. For instance, if you have staff members who didn't log in for some time, but they work some shifts in the past, you can here send them bulk email saying, hello guys, are you still interested in the cooperation? If yes, log into the app within 2 weeks, update your profile. Otherwise, you will be hibernated or deleted from the system. If they do it, if they sign in, update the profile, suddenly this column of last sign in will get updated. So you will see this person logged in, so they are interested somehow. And then after some time, you can go and filter again just those who haven't signed it for a long time and do the actions. The actions are available in a bulk in the stuff list. So you can either then select all of them or just select some of them. And under multiple edit, you can do multiple actions with the profiles. So if we start with the deleting, you can delete staff members. That's handy when staff members registered, they haven't worked, nothing was happening. You can delete them completely from the system. Some of the staff members you might want to just hibernate. That basically moves them from the active group, but everything remains in the system. Their history, their profile, they still have access to the app. They are just in a different box of staff members who are not active. Or you can block staff members. That's mostly when you really want to restrict the access. Another part that can help you is to here sort staff members by rating. So you can identify if somebody by any chance is really low in the rating. So you might want to consider the future cooperation. Another useful filter I would like to mention is here approved profiles and approved profile photo. Now, depending how you are working with approving of profiles, you can filter in the end of the year staff members who doesn't have approved profile. And again, you can target the communication and send them email that they should fill everything mandatory to get approved so they can start working and be really active. So these are the filters that can help you to identify the active group. And that leads us to another staff member part, and these are badges. Now, I know that a lot of you are using badges for various cases, and maybe if you have time now, you can introduce some new badges to the system. I have 2 examples I wanted to mention. For example, if you had a really big festival or really big event, and you would like to award the staff members badge, or simply you want them to filter later who was attending that event, so you can identify, for instance, festival matadors. You can do it also here from the staff list. In the order part, I can filter staff members who attended certain project. So in my example, I here have Comic-Con. And before, in my settings, I created a badge that says Comic-Con. And here I can just select all of the staff members that were in the order. And under multiple edit, I will add them the badge I created before. And just like this, simply you can add the badge in a bulk to group of staff members. So it's good to also think about if maybe you were missing some filtering when looking for suitable staff members, or maybe if you were rejecting some applicants because they didn't meet some requirements, maybe this requirement or this thing can turn into badge. So it's easier for filtering and setting up requirements for the shifts. Another thing related to badges I wanted to mention, and for a second, I will go to settings. In the staff section and badge where you set up all your badges. Now, you know that we have a badge of type basic. That's a badge you add manually to staff members. And then there are a couple of automatic badges that basically the system adds points to the badges to the staff members automatically based on their attendance. And after they meet certain threshold of points, the badge will appear in their profile. And for example, you can start using new badges. Typical case can be company badge, when you want to count how many shifts staff member work for a certain client. So you can then easily filter who is the preferred group of that client. And if you introduce this badge now, you don't have to go and calculate all the attendance and do it manually. You can use this button initialize, which in this case of company badge or other automatic badges will recalculate backwards in the past all of the shifts, all of the attendances of staff members, and add the badge automatically to everyone. So this function is very good when you are introducing new badges for the system. So maybe you will think about adding new badges so that this function can help you. Another staff related part are the contracts. So since we are here in the settings, we can stay here. Now, depending how you work, some of your contracts maybe are ending in December, or you have some new contracts for next year. So I recommend also to go to staff section and here check what documents are you using. If some of them are not active anymore, you can via edit change their status to inactive to make the list clear. And of course, you can add a new contract type for next year. It's always good if it's possible to add the contract on time to avoid January problems with wallets. Because if I have a contract that ends in the end of December and I don't have any valid contract for January, I cannot attend January shift. Or depending on your settings, I can attend the shift, you can close the shift, but the wage I earned will be unassigned in my wallet. And when you will be processing the payouts, it will cause anyway a problem you will have to solve. So that's why it's always good to have it prepared ahead. In this area, I also would like to mention the payout methods, which are connected to contract types. Contract types basically can be any kind of document you sign with the staff members. And if this document is an employment type, it has to have set payout methods in this settings of payout methods. So if you are adding new contracts for next year, just don't forget, please, to go here and add also payout method for that contract. And since sometimes, depending on the countries and if you are using that, payout methods can have limits. If I go here to edit, you can here set limits for how much people can be paid within certain period, monthly, yearly, or weekly. The same goes for hours. So maybe you would also need to change this for next year to make it compliant and aligned with everything you need. Now, when you are sending the contracts, we also have a separate webinar for that on our YouTube. Related to the contracts, I will also recommend you go to Staff and Contracts. And here you can filter by a status of electronic signature. And I will recommend to check pending. Because here can be listed some of the staff members you sent contract for signature to, but maybe it was a long time ago and probably they will not sign it anymore. Maybe you sign the document somehow differently. So to not have it stuck there in this waiting status, you can revise these and delete them if they are not relevant anymore. So these are the basic things I wanted to mention related to database. I will just quickly check our Q&A and no questions. Okay. So let's continue with another topic, which is finance of staff members. That's also a very important one. And for that, it will help us the section payouts and payout batch requests. Because this page, apart from that, you can do bulk payouts from here, will help you to identify if by any chance maybe you missed some payout or some amount So basically, this page helps you to identify if somebody has in their wallet something which was not paid, and then it should be. And in ideal case, when you log in January after your last payroll of 2025, and you filter here year, let's say last year, there will be nothing to be paid because everything is balanced. That will be the ideal case. So I recommend to go here and use this magic box which says include staff members with positive balance. This checkbox will look at the past and see if somebody doesn't have anything in their wallet unpaid from the previous period, and include them so you can see the total amount of staff members and how much they have in their wallets. And this section, even though in your operations you are not processing payouts like this and staff members are uploading their invoices by themselves, still you can just go here and see it. So you can see maybe if somebody didn't upload the invoice, or maybe there are certain amount mismatching. This can help you to see it. Also, I would like to recommend, if you are working with reimbursements, to check that you have approved all the pending reimbursements, because the accountable date of reimbursements are the shifts when it happens. So you want to have all the costs done in 1 year. So I recommend also just to double check if there is no bubble waiting here. If you are using penalties, you might want to check in wallet balance if there's maybe some pending unconfirmed penalty, which you can filter in this section staff, wallets, and status, and unconfirmed, because penalty has to be approved by staff member. And if you filter this unconfirmed, you will see if there is maybe some penalty waiting, so you can follow up with the staff member and solve the case as you need. Or maybe if you want to add some bonus for a year, you can here add money into wallet of some staff members to have it prepared for the last payout. Now this is for how to check and how to check what is missing from your side, what you should pay. But sometimes it can happen that somebody end up with minus in their wallet. That's usually when you, for example, when you're, for example, adding manual records and it somehow gets incorrect, or when you, for example, close shifts, do some payout, and then you go and change the old shifts, and the shift wage have changed with that. It can be a mismatch that result in the status that staff member has minus in their wallets, which is also not correct. And for that, and the minus, the payout request, batch request will not show you the minus. So for that, I would go here to statistics and staff, where you can filter. Let's say we will filter this year. And here you can see this year and all the balance, all the income, and you can sort by this column, total wallet balance. That's like the balance of this day. And here I can see that I have this staff member Kate with minus, which is not great. So I can open the profile, find what's there, what's the problem, and solve it. So when you look at in January to the wallets, everyone is on zero, or everyone is balanced, and they are ready to start earning 2026 wages. So this is also important part of payouts or staff member finances. And now let's move on to the companies. Let's go to the companies and company list. Now I am, with my demo version, I'm running a rather small business, so I don't have that many companies, but in your cases, there might be 110,000 of companies. Now the companies filter is not that broad as it is with the staff list, but this column, latest order start, can help you to identify inactive companies. So for example, you can sort again, and you can see that if there is no order, probably the company was just created in the past and nothing was happening, or if the order was relayed a long time ago, you can go to editing of the company. And here you can switch it to inactive. So it's not offered when you are creating new orders, and it can help you to keep also the list of the companies a bit more actual. And you can always go back and make the company active again. Nothing is disappearing. It's just marking them inactive. And the same way you can do with the company members if maybe somebody left the company. Since we are here also with the client topic, important part are also finances related to client. So let's go here now to invoices, and I recommend to check unpaid invoices. If you have really everything updated, maybe some invoice was paid, but you just don't have it marked in the system. So you can revise also here. So really just the invoices that are due in reality stay here. And also maybe for next year, you are planning to add some new notes and new terms and conditions for clients. So I also recommend to go to settings and document settings. And check here if you have all the notes really updated. Maybe if you are including in the notes linked to your terms and conditions and other details, maybe you have some new files, so you can have it ready for next year. So these are the clients part. And let's now check the content, because that can change a lot. First, let's go here, since we are in the settings, to CMS. This is just a recap. This is your Wikipedia kind of for staff members, clients, and also you as agency if you have some menu for yourself created. And we always recommend to regularly go over that, and maybe you can evaluate this year, for example, if staff members were asking a lot, some questions that were repeating, where they're asking about the payroll process or maybe about the system. You can add a new menu here with your content to avoid these questions in next year and make it clear. And also you have here option to create menu for the clients. So again, if you have some content for the clients that has access to client portal, you can update it here as well. And the same, I recommend to go over snippets if they are all active for the staff members as well for the clients, so you don't have any outdated information. For the communication part, I also recommend to you can also go to staff list for a while back, and let's filter, use our mentioned filter, which is attended shift between. So for instance, you can here filter staff members who attended shift this year, and then you can send them bulk email kind of thank you for the season, thank you for the year. So you can target the communication like this, or you can publish a news. News is like a pop-up message that is shown for the staff members in their account when they log in. So you can also use that. Another part I would like to mention is your dashboard. It's also a good time to think about which widgets did you use and which you didn't even glance over. So if, for example, here, I know that I didn't even look at this widget, open to do tasks. Let's click on the three dots and delete it and make a room for new widgets I need. If you navigate here on the top, you can add new widget. And now we added quite a lot of widgets during this year. As we add, for instance, new feature confirmation requests that you can send confirmation from the app to staff members to reconfirm some information. And maybe you would like to see it on the dashboard, you can add it. So every admin has their own widget, so we recommend to maybe update it if you have for next year it prepared. Now, another part I would like to talk about is our statistics. We already touched it a bit in this staff section where you can check minus records or some other details. If you go to agency statistics, and here it's also tied to the shift closing I was mentioning. So a lot of the statistics works well for the past. You have to have the shifts closed, so you have the accurate information and how it really happened. So the data are correct. And here you can use various statistics. For example, if you want to know how many active staff members you have last year and work with that number further, or average age to see how your database is structured. So all of that you can use statistics. And also you can use valuable information in finance statistics. Now here I want to mention, when I was mentioning the order closing, that I would recommend also, even when you are not closing the orders with invoice, because you are not invoicing from the system, that you are using other system for invoicing, you can still finish the orders with invoice. Just the invoice is not getting anywhere and you are not sending it to your clients. But from the system point of view, it's a valuable information, because a lot of the financial statistics and others are tied to the invoicing. So if you issue the invoice, you can then benefit from the statistics that are here. One of I would like to mention are maybe these top clients, that you can then go and see a list of your top clients and maybe target again another actions and other communications you have outside. And as usual, on the various pages you have exports that you can filter just for this year and use them in your further reports and other tools that you are using for reporting. Connected part to that is changing the wage and price. So if you plan to change your rates from 1st of January or maybe earlier in the year, it's important to plan it and think about when to actually change it in the system. If we start with the wage lists, so wages you pay to your staff members, if you do the changes here in the wages settings, it's reflected automatically to all of the shifts that are currently open and not closed. So the updates are instant. So for instance, if you plan that from 1st of January, we are changing the wages, the best plan would be to first make sure that you close all the December shifts to make sure that they have the old wage. Then go and change the wage list settings or effects if you are using, and then only start closing the January shift to make sure that the wage is updated there. With these changes, just be careful when reopening the old shifts, because, for example, if you change the wages to the new one, and then you go and you change something in December shift, you reopen it, do some changes, at that moment, the system will take a look at the current wage, so the January wages, which you don't want to apply for December. So just when making these changes, you will have to think a bit about the time. As for the price list, it's a bit the same. Now, if you are using custom price list, for example, I have here festival rate 2026, you can have prepared that already. Updating the basic price list is also good to plan, because when you update it and you go and create a new job, it will take this basic price list. And in the old orders that were already created, you can then decide if you want to keep the old price list or if you want to update to the latest one. So again, it's good to plan it when you want to start using the new rates. Since we are here in this settings part, I will go here to our section agency settings. Now this is a long settings. I'm sure you all have been here setting up a lot of things, and so maybe after the year or after the season, you might want to think about what actions did we do a lot manually. Maybe some default option is hiding here. I would like to just mention specifically some of them, and that's for example, this set of settings, which is about requiring approved profile to be able for staff members to sign up for a shift or see the shift. Maybe if you have this off, later you might want to find out that the staff members didn't have really filled all the necessary information in their profile. So maybe if you turn it on to require approved profile, it can help you to make sure that people have everything filled before they join the shift. So only the approved staff members can apply and put themselves on the shift. The same goes for the contract. If you maybe would like to turn it on for next year, it can be done here. Also, the section job creation default values, I would like to mention. For example, if you know that the majority of your shifts are 4 people, for example, or at least a lot of the shifts, you can set here that it's 4, and you will maybe have less manual changes when creating the shifts. The same goes for setting shifts locked or hidden by default. So maybe if you during the year changed your strategy and you start hiding the shifts or maybe unhiding the shifts, and suddenly you end up changing a lot manually, you can switch the default here and do it from this year differently. Because these settings are being added to system often, there are some things that you might miss during the year, so I recommend to go over that. So maybe there's something that will be useful for you, such as, for example, default departure location that can help you when you are using transport module, that you can set that you are departing always from your office. You can here set address of your office, and again, it's a couple of clicks saved. Also, you can here revise your rating system. That's always a good opportunity to see if we are still staying with the values that are set here, or maybe in new year you will revise it and change it a bit, so you can edit it here on time. Also, a couple of default options for invoicing management. So again, if you, for example, start rounding the invoices, or you were rounding it and now you are not, and you are changing it always manually when you are issuing the invoice, you can change the default here. Or there are a couple of also default sections for billing and sending documents to clients that can help you to do it quicker. And last thing I wanted to mention is the referral system. So maybe you were not using the referral system until now, and again, you might want to reconsider it for next season, next year. You can prepare ahead and turn it on here. So these are the sections I also recommend to go over. There are also a lot of settings where you can set what staff members can see or not. So maybe if this year you have some issues or something was missing, you can maybe find the settings here. So this is the setting part. And another topic I would like to mention is the scheduling strategy. So maybe it would be also a good time to think about if how you scheduled the job and how you were allocating staff members, if everything was working for you. We have also a dedicated webinar to the topic of how you can allocate staff members to shift and how to combine these approaches. It's available on our YouTube as well. So maybe you can think about like what was not working, what was working well, and you can always reach out to us to discuss this topic, to think about maybe some changes or adjustment. So the switching defaults in the settings, it's a one way that can help you with scheduling. I also recommend to go to settings and in the section work to tags. Again, I have just a couple of tags, but you might have a lot of them. And maybe you stopped using some tags for some reason, but you cannot delete them because they were already used. And to avoid some confusion or to accidentally put the tag on the shift you don't want to use, you can just edit the tag and set it as, or untick the box active. That will set it as inactive, and you will not able to use the tag in the future shifts. So especially if the tag is somehow tied to price or wage, if you overlook it, it can be a bit issue. So you can also revise which tags you are not using anymore. And last thing I want to mention is that you can also go over your list of administrators if everything is as you need. And you can also reach out to us if you would like to make some restrictions to the access. So maybe some of the roles have access to only certain parts of the app. So maybe if you would like to revise this as well for the new season, you can reach out to us and we can discuss it and plan something. Regarding the administrators, last thing I would like to mention is to-dos, if you are using them. So if you navigate on the top right corner and click on See All To-dos, you can also check if you don't have by any chance some old to-dos waiting here. Maybe they are already done, maybe they didn't. But since they are pending here, you can also mark them as resolved or as unsuccessful, or delete them completely to again make a space for next year's to-dos. So that was all I wanted to share with you. Now, of course, I understand that you have all your custom special cases. So if maybe you started now think about that you would like to dig deeper about some topic, about some balancing, about the stuff list adjustment, or maybe badges or any kind of feature, you can always reach out to us to support and we can discuss individually. So as a summary, I would like to recommend mostly to check the staff member part to make sure you have active list, because that can really help you when you are scheduling staff members and looking for suitable staff to really make sure that they are just active and they are well tagged with badges and contracts. And the other part I would like to stress out are the finances, especially the wallets, to make sure that we have everything balanced. So of course we can help you consult this topic as well if you need.